Indonesia. Meanwhile, more than 800,000 people have tested negatively for the coronavirus or recovered. So far, the highest positive cases of COVID-19 has been recorded in the Jakarta, followed by West Java and East Java. The green zone, as my first speaker said before, is not affected, and the zone that has no new cases does not mean that the areas with the green zone are completely free from the COVID-19 virus, because we have data on several areas that have been designated as green zones, but because the activities they are carrying out are back as usual. One of them is by carrying out the in-person learning areas back into the red zone, such as East Nusa Tenggara. Based on the data from team leader of the task force for the acceleration of COVID-19 handling, Wiku Adisasmito, during a video conference at Geraha BNPB Jakarta, Friday, 3rd July of 2020. So we have data too from CNN Indonesia on Saturday, 21 of November 2020, that same countries, not include, countries that opened in-person learning during the pandemic. One of the countries where several areas have been designated as green. Yes, please.
So, it is true that Indonesia has many people infected by the COVID. But you must remember that there are many millions of people that have already recovered. And lots of regions in Indonesia are ready to reopen the schools. So what's your response to this statement?
Okay, thanks for your question. In my next data, our team said that the COVID-19 task force explained the clinical trials of the COVID-19 vaccine were limited to the age range 18 to 59 years. This age group is the initial target for vaccination in Indonesia. Meanwhile, the development of vaccination for children is still being planned in several existing vaccine candidates. According to COVID-19 task force, currently there are vaccine candidates not being used that can be injected in seniors 60 until 89 years. So let me continue our statement. No, thank you. One of the countries where several areas have been decided as green zones. Yes, please.
So, from what you say, the people that is 18 or over is given a vaccine. But you must know that even under age of 18, the young people's immune system is strong enough to cure from the COVID-19 disease. So, back from my question before, that many people are already recovered, and so lots of regions are ready to reopen the schools. So once again, how will you solidify your arguments?
Okay, thanks for your question. However, based on data from the Ministry of Health of Republic Indonesia, 831 children in Indonesia are positive for COVID-19 based on July 2020, which is 4% of the total number of positive people in Indonesia. Meanwhile, the age of infected children ranges from 0 to 14 years. From this data, there are 129 children who died with the patient status under supervision, and 14 children died with a positive status for COVID-19 virus. That's all. Let me continue our statement. So, one of the countries where several areas have been designated as green zones opened in-person learning is during the pandemic that failed because COVID-19 cases have increased again, especially among students due to in-person learning. One of the countries is South Korea. South Korea is gradually opening schools again, starting with high school students on May 20 of 2020, then middle and elementary school students following on June 3rd. But just days after it opened, cases of COVID-19 broke out among students that recently South Korea report a spike in COVID-19 cases above 343 consecutive days. No, thank you. On Wednesday, 25th of... Yes, please.
It is true that South Korea has been failed about the reopening the school. But you must know, there are also countries that have been successfully implemented the in-person learning, even with the COVID-19 disease, such as Japan or China, Thailand. For example, in Japan, 12 million students, only 2,000 of them were positive, and most of them are recovering. So this data was taken from NHK World Japan News. So how do you solidify your arguments about the countries that were failed to implement the school reopening system?
Okay, thanks for your question. That's a good question that you can find the answer in the next statement. So, until now, the COVID-19 task force explained the clinical trials of the COVID-19 vaccine were limited to the age range of 18 to 59 years. This age group is the initial target for vaccination in Indonesia. Meanwhile, the development of vaccination for children is still being played in several existing vaccine candidates. According to the COVID-19 task force, currently there are vaccine candidates that can be injected into the COVID-19 virus. However, based on the data from the Ministry of Health, 831 children in Indonesia are positive for COVID-19, which is 4% of the total number of positive people in Indonesia. Meanwhile, the age of infected children ranges from 0 to 14 years. From this data, there are 129 children who died with the patient status under supervision, and 14 children died with a positive status for coronavirus disease. And meanwhile, the COVID-19 vaccine is only given. That's all from me, and thank you.
Okay, thank you for the second speaker of affirmative team. Sorry, from negative team. And let's continue to the third speaker of affirmative team. Time is yours.
Okay, so thank you for the opportunity. The first one, we like to emphasize that we are extremely pleased with the schools reopening. Just like as our second speaker later before, the Minister of Education and Culture plans to start the in-person learning process at school in the new academic year of July 2021. Responding to the concern of various parties regarding the risk of the COVID-19 transmission to school environment, the opening of in-person learning in the green and yellow zone must go through strict health protocols. And those protocols are wearing masks, wash your hands with soap and water, keep the distance minimum 1.5 meters, stay away from the crowd, as well as limiting mobilization and isolation. And as our first speaker stated before, that if the school is not reopened and the online learning still continues, there will be a lot of negative impacts in here. And the first one is the lack of access to technology, whether the economic or logistic reasons will exclude students. And it's a crucial issue in outback and lower socio-economic areas.
You are please?
No, thank you. And in addition, during this COVID-19 round, students must stay at home. And you can cross social, no thank you. And you can test, and you can cross social isolation.
You are please?
Okay.
Okay, so you say the increase of COVID-19 can happen if we use health protocol properly. So, what about elementary school children? Will they listen to us? Thank you.
Okay, thank you for the question. And my answer is, that's where the teacher's role in guiding students to comply with health protocols. Okay, that's my question. Okay, that's my answer. Okay, let me continue. Then, during this COVID-19 round, students must stay at home and it can cause social isolation. And this social isolation can cause heightened stress, anxiety, and negative thoughts. Just like as our first speaker stated before, that the problems must commonly found in all age groups, where general stress complaints amounted 23.9%. Complaints of anxiety 9.1%, 8.9%, and anxiety disorder.
please.
No, thank you. And customers psychosomatic complaint only 4.7%. Is that the number? And
please.
yes.
If schools are reopened, what about students who do not get the COVID-19 vaccine, while children aged 0 to 17 are also very vulnerable to contracting the COVID-19 virus, like our previous data? So, do you have any solution about that?
Okay. Thank you for the question. And my answer is you must think about the shifting system. That's it. And as our second speaker stated before, that degrees on learning is continuing. Meanwhile, online learning is considered less effective and efficient. And skills in the use of technology is still low. There are still many teachers that are experiencing confusion in using learning media such as Zoom, Google Classroom, Google Meet, WhatsApp, and so on. And the emergence of pressure and stress experienced by students, just like the high psychological problem found based on complaints and diagnosis results by clinical psychology is learning barely amounting 27.2%. And it's emphasized with cases that happen in Tarakan, North Kalimantan. There is a high school students hanging herself because she was stressed due to this online learning.
please.
Yes.
Although the school implemented the shift system, how can you guarantee the health protocol will save the children from COVID-19? How can you guarantee that the shift system can save the children from COVID-19?
Okay, thank you for the question, and you will find that in my next video. And so, in addition, there are also countries that have been successfully implemented this online learning, and it's Japan. If Japan can do it, why can't we? If not now, no. If not now, then when? So, we like to say that we are still agree. We are extremely agree with the school learning. So that's all for me. Thank you very much.
The third speaker of affirmative team. Let's continue with the third speaker of negative team. Time is yours.
Thank you.
on Tuesday, 4 June 2020, via compass.com that returning to school during the pandemic is...
So, from what I heard before, they said that you do not agree that schools should be reopened because of the medical issues, the COVID spreading rates. But I didn't hear that you say more of point of view, such as academic or economic point of view, because from the data that COVID, because of the online learning, many students academic grades is down. This is taken based from economic.go.id because the students' grades is lowered by almost 30%. What's your response to students?
Okay, so for convenience of students, of course, we can provide solution. Now, of course, the age where technology is very much used. So, of course, we can think of new solution such as creativity is the key. And for the internet connection, for those who has problem in internet connection, we can use task safe, where tasks were taken and given in turn without having to meet in person. So, I will continue. According to the Indonesian Doctor Association, in addition, school opening can be done if the positivity rate in an area is less than 5% for consecutive weeks. For information, the current national positivity rate, especially in 2021, is 13.3%. This figure is an increase.
They said that students can use the application task sheet. Am I correct?
That's not application, but we can use task set to start.
Can you elaborate?
So task set is where we are taken and given in turn without we taken and given task in turn without having to meet in person. Okay, so I will continue. Once again, for information, the current national positivity rate, especially in 2021, is 13.3%. This figure is an increase of 0.2% compared to the previous year.
And how Time is yours.
Okay, thank you for the time that's been given to me. So, as a reply speech, I will restate the statements that have been given by my fellow teammates. But first of all, I want us to highlight that the opposite team failed to give a solid answer from our question. Okay, so we should still remember that Nadi stated, teachers and lecturers are vaccinated and are made sure to follow the health protocols. Second, online learning expects students to understand technology and to provide themselves with said technology. This is a big obstacle for those who are in advanced and lower socioeconomic areas in which our green zones are categorized. Third, by opening schools, we can increase the quality of education and students in outback areas in which our green zones are categorized. Fourth, the younger students can be led by their teachers so they can understand and follow the health protocols properly. And so, for whatever reason, we still strongly agree with this motion. That's all from me. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Let's continue to the request speaker for negative team. Time is yours.
First of all, I would like to restate our argument about this motion. So the first one, the green zone is not affected and zone that has no new cases doesn't mean that the areas with the green zone are completely free from the COVID-19 virus, because we have data on several areas that have been designated as green zones. But because the activities they are carrying out are back as usual. One of them is Islamabad, and the second one is the green areas such as Yaukimo, Papua also have difficulties on transportation, as I explained before in the thesis that I explained. And also, the last one is with assumption of moderate transmission. Opening schools in 2021 can increase the symptoms of COVID-19 infection by 52.3% for university students and lecturers, 40.7% for high school teachers and students, and also 37.2% for junior high school teachers and students, and 4.1% for elementary school teachers and students. And from our argument, we strongly disagree with this motion. Thank you.
Thank you for both of them, and let's give big applause for both of them. And now, I give time for the judges to give comment or feedback for both of them. Time is yours. Okay, I give time 5 minutes to discuss. Now I give chance to the representatives of the judges to give comment and the feedback for our text.
Once again, thank you. Overall, it was a really well-balanced debate. So I really congratulate you for that. And then we need to comment according to the criteria. There are some criteria here. What criteria are you strong with? Okay. I mentioned number one for organization and party. Both of the team have mostly clear and orderly parts. So very good. Okay. And then the use of arguments. I have to say that both of the team have strong arguments. For example, you say that those who are in green zones must implement or reopening the school. But you say you provide the data counter-attack of argument. Then some who are in green zone who try to reopening but found new cases, right? So that's a good countering attack of the argument. So that's why we give what you said. Okay? So most relevant reasons given in support. And then also the use of examples and facts. Both of the team provide very good evidence and facts about your argument or your positions. And then use of rebuttal. We have to decide. We were discussing a while ago. We have to admit that the pro or the affirmative team has a good way of rebuttal, and then you fail to answer it in a way that it really answers the question. Okay? You have to admit it. And then the last point also, presentation style. Tone of voice, use of gestures. Also, be senses. Admit that the affirmative team was so cool when they were presenting their ideas. Okay, I think there's a general comment to make for both of you, but overall, it was really a good debate. Thank you very much. I think that's all. Thank you.
Okay, okay, thank you so much for both team and also for the judges. Okay, once again, thank you so much for the debaters, for both team, affirmative and negative team, and also for the judges, Ms. Fanny, Mr. Jerry, and also Ms. Mary, for the comment and feedback for the both team. And now debating under the motion, this House support schools reopening is over. I, as the moderator, just want to say thank you and good afternoon for all of us. Please take your seat.